So you mentioned that you were with Soyinka at the Nobel Prize. Do you see him much these days?
Oh, yes. Actually, it's coming to Harvard next week to give a talk at the Kennedy School of Government on the recent Nigerian presidential elections. You know, for the first time, we actually, it might be we're beginning the roots of a stable bourgeois democracy where political parties lose and concede defeat. Because Nigeria is one of the places in the Anglophone, well, Africa in general, that hasn't, you know, been compared with a place like India. Between India and Pakistan, that might be like a good example because the Indian army is institutionally very powerful, very strong, but has never staged a coup. Pakistan, on the other hand, which used to be part of this whole south, you know, subcontinent of India under the British and the split after independence, Pakistan has had, you know, series upon series of coups. And so we are entering, I think, with the recent elections in Nigeria, we're having for the first time, all of us were very, very, very worried that we're going to have another round of, you know, civil war, if possible. So he's coming to Harvard next week. So the short answer is I do see him a lot.
And it sounds like that both of you are very engaged with this political moment, important political moment right now.
What we are yet to do, which we did have this in the 80s and early 90s, was to have a kind of institutional, organizational structures around this collaboration, where he actually went on and formed a political party. But it hasn't gone far. But we used to have, you know, organizations which were very, very active politically and could actually give some kind of context for, because otherwise Western perceptions of politics in Africa in general and in Nigeria in particular is still very much, you know, framed around questions of tribalism and corruption. It's almost as if there are no class, you know, differences don't exist in Africa. And in a place like Nigeria, the role of the oil corporations in feeding corruption and the way that Western governments play on simple dichotomies of North and South, Christian and Muslim. And the picture is more complex than that. But I'm saying that we also in Nigeria and in Africa haven't done enough to sort of provide a kind of very clear context which would make it more difficult for the simplifications that kind of obscure the real issues on the ground. So his visit to Harvard next week, I suppose, is to try and give some context to what just happened in Nigeria.